channel.
On my channel. Okay, so back here tomorrow, same time, same bad channel, and we'll do our first day together, so we can all do Journey June at the same time. For those who are coming in late to Journey June, it's a June challenge. It's not so much an illustration challenge really at all as it is a storytelling challenge. So if you're the type of person who wants to eventually do your own stories and all this stuff, but maybe you don't have any yet, you know, you're talking the talk, I've got all these stories, but you're not walking the walk, we're going to help you walk. Okay, we're going to teach you how to walk. So you'll get your first story done through June, and really you can do bare minimums like pencil roughs and you'll be good. And then if you finish all the days, Gabe and I are teaching a class at the end that you earn through actually doing Journey June. And if you prove to us you did all 30 days, you don't even have to post them online, but if you can provide like a PDF at the end of June, obviously we'll tell you how to apply for the class. And then, you know, we'll teach you how to do a digital book, we'll teach you how to do a zine, and we'll teach you how to do a physical bound book so you can learn how to self-publish. Which a lot of people are like, how do I self-publish things? Because I have no idea. We can teach you. Because a lot of the time, what happens is, if you want to be a storyteller, you can't exactly get an agent, and you can't really dry pitch to, you know, companies all the time. So what you really have to do is just kind of go out there and grind and make all your books and show you've got all these stories, and then prove to all these companies, I've got all this content. And once you've already proved it to them, it's easier for them to be like, okay, we'll actually take this one, we'll get the rights to it, we'll distribute it for you, all this stuff. So it's way easier to do it before you even get any sort of deal, you know? Because then obviously it's not a liability for them if they already know you can do the work. If you're one of those people that just kind of, you know, goes up and is like, I can write and illustrate, and they're like, oh, cool, let's see. And you're like, well, I haven't really done anything yet. They're just gonna, nope.
I've got a lot of stories, trust me.
I've got so many stories. Okay, show us. I don't really have them done. I mean, how does that look? So we're trying to help you to get to that point where you can actually feel what it's like to finish a story and get in the groove of, oh, okay, this is what I can expect if I want to keep doing this. Really, things like that. And I'm more sad kids didn't have that in college. Even if you went to an art school, they really don't do that for you. Even in storyboarding class, they didn't really do that for us. And we've had a business class, didn't teach me anything. My school sucked. I don't know about your schools, but hey, Christina. So if anybody has any questions on that, like, you know, what to expect, or we've gotten a lot of questions about what size to make it, or you know, do I have to color all these? And no, you don't have to color them. You don't even have to go past pencils if you don't want to. We just care that you get the idea for the prompt down on the page, and that's it. Because then by the end you'll at least have a rough story. And you can do it as a comic, you can do it as a storybook. It's really whatever fits your story. And genre, up to you. If you want it to take place in a grocery store, awesome, go for it. It doesn't have to be fantasy or sci-fi. And like size, like I was saying, under 6x9 for sure. If you can go smaller, awesome. You really don't want to make it huge for any reason, you know? Just think that you want to finish the story, and at the end, if you are really proud of it and you really like it and the story's good, you can just go back and really render out all those in your own time. Okay, so this is a storytelling challenge. The only rule we really have is that you create a new character in a new world. You can't use anything pre-existing, okay? Because as a storyteller, you have to get used to making a lot of different like ideas. You have to have a lot of different ideas. If you don't always have different ideas, you're not going to have very many stories. So really get used to kind of throwing away characters and making new ones and all this sort of stuff, because it'll do a lot of good for you.
I like your school, Paladin.
Paladin, are you serious? Wow. Could it turn into a one-shot, or is that too much? Can you describe one-shot, Glitter Hollow?
A one-shot is just one story. So like,
this is just a one-shot.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah, that's what we're basically asking. That if you look at the JourneyJune site.
Yeah, here, Glitterholic.
Yeah.
I'll send you exactly what you need to look at. So, like I said, this isn't an illustration challenge. It's a storytelling challenge. So you have to do the entire thing to be able to get the class at the end. But don't let that scare you, because like I said, it's not full rendered illustrations by any means. No, we highly discourage that. We want quantity over quality. And if you end up finishing, day 1, day 2, day 22, whatever, and you're like, man, I'm still in the mood, or, should I render this out? Instead of rendering it, we'd rather you do the next day, okay? I know that sounds a little crazy as far as our challenges go, but really, we'd rather you get ahead and to plan ahead for all the days you will not be around. Because, it's a month. People have things they gotta do in a month. But if you ever want to be an independent artist or a freelance artist, you have to get used to budgeting your time in different areas depending on priority. So if like for us, in 2 weeks, we're going to be at Heroes Con for like 4 or 5 days. We either have to do the prompts on those days, or we do them ahead of time and buy us those days. Okay, so no matter what, you have to get it done. Today's thing that I'm going to post on JourneyJune's Instagram is 0 excuses. Because today's day 0. Okay, no days left. Tomorrow is June. Okay, so in the theme of 0, there are 0 excuses. And we don't want to hear it. Honestly, if you can't do it, don't come to us being like, well, I can't do it because of this, this, and this, and this. If you want to do it, you'll do it. If you don't want to do it, you won't. That's it. That's all there is to it. And that kind of tells people what kind of person you are. Do you eventually want to be a storyteller? Yeah. If that's more important to you than anything else, you're going to do this. Why wouldn't you? No excuse in this dojo. Nope. Exactly. Glitterholic, this is for all the people that we know who are like, oh, stories? I've got so many stories? You kidding me?
Show me.
It's like, oh, really? What can I see them? Oh, yeah, I've got just, sketches and I don't know, nothing's really put down yet. No.
I know Kung Fu. Show me.
Show me,
Yeah.
right? So we're really tired of that, and we want to help people. So with those two combined, here's this challenge, okay? We're calling out the people that are kind of just talking the talk. We want you to walk the walk, and we're going to help you, okay? So, yeah. For all of you who say you have stories, this is to help you understand how to show people your stories. But that doesn't mean to use the stories you've already got for this one. This is a practice run. This is just to show you how it works, how it feels to do it, okay? Because like I said, maybe you love stories now, but by the end of it, you see how a story works. Maybe you don't want to tell stories. Maybe you just want to do illustrations. That's fine. That's totally fine. But to be a storyteller, you have to understand a lot of things, like how to research something if you don't know much about it, to incorporate it in your story correctly. You don't want to say false information or anything like that. So you have to understand how to research stuff. So through the journey, you figure that out, and then sometimes it'll take you on a whole new track of what to do for your story, right? And your characters, you'll learn how a character can tell you what they want to do. Because sometimes you'll design a character and you'll be like, all right, I know exactly what he's going to do. I know how this is going to go. And then halfway through the journey, you're like, why is this going this way? This isn't what I planned. It's because sometimes the character takes over and they'll tell you they don't want to go that way. And you have to learn to just go with the flow, literally, It is going to be rough, yeah, but it's going to be so good at the end. I guarantee it. You will be proud if you finish this, okay?
Honestly, it shouldn't be rough. Like, it shouldn't. Like, the only reason you guys are making it rough is because you're thinking it's going to be a lot worse. And
don't overthink.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
The only thing you really need to do is just write out what happens the next day. If you can draw out like a crummy sketch on a post-it note, that's enough.
That's enough.
That is a rough draft.
Dan, in regards to digital or traditional, it's whatever you can do comfortably. Okay, we really let you go crazy with the size. Don't go crazy big. That's setting yourself up for failure. Remember to keep it simple, okay? really, please, if you're new to this, go to our JourneyJune Instagram and look through all of our days during the countdown. Each day we've done like a little blurb about what to remember, like keeping it simple, don't get overwhelmed, do your research, all this sort of stuff to help you prepare for this. So those of you coming in today, at least you're not coming in tomorrow. Think about it this way. So you've still got a day to plan, okay? It shouldn't be scary. Think about this like it's exciting. The minute you start getting overwhelmed, pull back, okay? And remember to take it day by day. It's not a big deal. This is just practice. You know, you might not even publish this afterwards. Obviously, you probably won't. But it's practice. This is a worksheet, okay? It's to show you how to do the math so that later, when you get your story down, maybe the one you've had for a long time, you know what to do with it. Because the problem I found with a lot of people when I've talked to them about their stories is they might have it and they haven't done it because they don't know what to do with it when they're done. So now if you do this practice thing and by the end, you know, you've earned the class, we'll teach you how to make the book so that when you go into a story, you'll know how to make the book. So all you got to do is fill in the middle and you'll be good. There's no scariness, you know, because a lot of people are scared of the unknown at the end. We're going to help with that. Hi, Unison. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I just hope all that helped. Okay, so Spongy brings up a good point. I guarantee you, you will hit a wall during JourneyJune. And what's funny is you might actually hit it at the same time your character does. So in the actual journey, in the prompts, obviously the hero's journey has a part where the hero has like a weak point and he eventually gets kind of depressed or feels hopeless. You're going to get there too. Because this journey that the hero's going on, you're also going on it in your own way. It's super meta, right? So there's going to be a point you're going to be like, oh man, I don't know what to do now. I've gotten to a point, I did good up until now, what's happening, what's wrong? That's normal. That's totally normal. It's okay. The point is that you push through it. Just figure out an answer. It doesn't even matter if it's a good answer. It doesn't even matter if it's the right answer. The point is that you finish it. It's a rough draft. This whole thing is a rough draft. So after June, let's say you've done all 30 days, right? You come to us, you're like, I want the class. I've done all 30, here's my proof. And we look through it. Awesome, you get the class, you learn it, whatever. Maybe you like the story, but you don't like that one part you got stuck at. You can go back and redo that whole thing. You can redo whatever you want. There are no rules to this. The point is that you get the class so you know how to do it, and you earn it by finishing something. We want you to finish something, okay?
I think a lot of people you can't treat this like how, I think there's a lot of people that try to draw, like, they'll start with an eyeball, and then they'll move on to the nose, and then by then it's like, oh, I can't finish this because I messed everything up.
You're going specific too quick. You do the general outline so you know where everything's going to be, and then you go in detail. That's the right way to do a drawing. That's the right way to do a written draft. That's the right way to do anything. You need a big picture overlook before you go in there, otherwise everything's going to be wonk, right? For those people that just go in and do the eye first and they really render it nicely and then they expand out of that and they try to do the nose like Gabe's saying. You're gonna have something really rigid and wonky. You need to plan it out first.
I think whenever you see that on Instagram or on a YouTube video, it's because somebody is literally just redrawing something that they're looking at. In that case, okay, that's fine. You're just copying, you're a Xerox. That's cool.
Don't be a Xerox machine.
Yeah. But when you're writing a story, that's not going to happen. Or if you're just designing a new character, you can't do that. You have to draw the entire body in a very quick sketch form, which is the equivalent of what we're doing now. And this is a very quick sketch story, I guess you could say.
It's a sketch story, yeah, basically. So, what Gabe and I will probably end up doing for ours is, well, I can't speak for Gabe, actually. I'm gonna be doing thumbnails. So, I'll show you real quick what my thumbnails usually look like. And they differ depending on if I'm doing a comic or an illustration. But when I was doing a comic for a while, each of this is a page, and these are all the panels on each page, right? So if I'm doing a comic, I'll do it this way, right? But if I'm doing an illustration, obviously I'm going to do it a different way. So right now I'm going to go into this assuming that I'm doing, let's say, a storybook, okay? And, you know, that fits my style pretty well. So obviously my style kind of looks like this. It's very kid-friendly, very cute. The watercolors, obviously don't get overwhelmed by that. This was just concept art I got carried away with. My character sheet, okay? So with figuring out your hero, you can figure out the style that it'll take. So that tells you, in turn, if you're going to be doing like a kid's book, storybook style, or a comic book. And honestly, I might end up having to do a hybrid, where sometimes, do you have that French kids book that's got the little, like they're not panels so much as they're just segmented?
Fauna one?
Yeah, one of those. Can you go grab one? So I'll show you. A lot of European comics do this, where it's kind of a hybrid of a storybook and a comic book. And I might do this because it's nice to sometimes have that supplemental action, but, you know, not just that static image like a Beatrix Potter book, which can be fun, but I don't want to limit myself to that if I need to. And sometimes, if I'm given the choice of like a comic book, I'll feel almost like it's too easy to make too many panels. So this is only if I can't get it all really into one. And like I said, if you do a page and you're not happy with it, that's fine. You can redo it another time. The point is you did today's and it's done. You're done for today. Put it in the bag, it's done. You also don't have to post it online. The only thing you need to do with it is show us at the end that you did it. And it just me and Gabe. So you can earn it. Hold on. Let me catch up. Oh, good, Fire Seal. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta think on it when you get that stuck, you know? Or you might need a break. If you've been overthinking, you know, you have to know how you're feeling at the time, okay? Because that could really be a source of your burnout. And as an independent artist or a freelancer, whatever you choose to be, you have to really be able to read yourself well. So these are some of my favorite books, just based on how they look. They're French, right?
Yeah, they might be Spanish, but you're probably French.
Les Jours? That sounds
that's French.
But sometimes, like this is mainly like a storybook. Also, this chick is awesome. Obviously, I'm very biased, but you know, a lot of the pages are just a page with some supplemental text. You don't necessarily need text. If you can show instead of tell, awesome. But sometimes they break it into panels. And sometimes they do things like this with the action. So it's really up to you. I mean, maybe look through a couple of the books you have and see what works for you and your story. And remember to always come back to your hero and what they tell you they want. Because they will. If you know your hero, they're going to tell you. Same with this one. Man, that's beautiful. This one's a little bit more comic. But what I'm thinking of and what I was referring to, these books don't exactly show it, but it's like the artist guide book that we used, Gabe? Yes, you do. So remember when we got together for the artist guide with Bonhouse? We were going to make this artist guide.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that book we used?
Yeah.
Okay, that book doesn't have panels.
Wow.
It's just got, if all these panel lines were gone, and these were still here, that's what I'm talking about. That's kind of how mine would be. They'd just be faded in panels. But this is more of a comic, honestly. The other one's more of a storybook with a little bit of comic flair to it. But that goes to show you, you can do whatever you want. Don't let anything that's already been established hold you back. Right, Glitter? So we wanted people to earn a class that would help them instead of earning a material item or anything like that. Like, we thought of these things, but we were like, you know what would really help them if they strove to actually make their story a reality. So it might seem like a cop-out, like a cheap cop-out or something, but it is our time, and our time is valuable. But we want to give it to you because we believe in you, and we believe you can finish the story and then do something with it, or at least another one with the knowledge we give you. If we miss a day, can we make it up the next day? Yeah, okay. So the key to this is to pace yourself to plan ahead, right? But if for whatever reason you do miss a day or anything like that, you could do the entire month, okay? Like the night before July. It's fine. We're actually giving you a week into July to get us proof for the class. So to sign up for the class, you're going to need to prove to us you did all 30 days. Whether you send us your Instagram or a PDF, if you don't want to post online, that's okay. We encourage you to, though, because it's really smart to get you in the habit of posting. So we highly suggest you do it online. But if for whatever reason you don't want to, that's fine. You just have to send us an email with all of them in it or something. Okay? So we give you to the end of the first week of July to prove that you did all of June. So if for whatever reason you can't finish all of them during June, you could just do them all right then. But don't fake it. Like, you know what I mean? Try to give something to this. Don't just try to get the class by fucking around with your thumbnails and whatever. Like, this is supposed to be good, you know? It is beautiful, isn't it? It's a good book. Where did we get the idea? So the idea for JourneyJune was actually born out of frustration. Gabe and I had heard about Adventure April, which is still a nice one. But what I thought it was when Gabe told me about it was not what it ended up being. When I looked at their prompts, none of them connected to each other, none of them had anything to do with each other. They were just kind of another illustration prompt challenge, right? It's just draw this thing this day, draw this thing another day, this, that, or the other thing. And then I got to the point with Gabe and I was like, you know what, let's just do a challenge where it is a story and have the emphasis be on that, not so much on illustration. We'll put a spin on this, you know, because people have been doing these illustration challenges per month now for a few years. Like, when did Inktober start? 5 years ago?
Probably longer.
Yeah, it was something like that. So these have been around a while, but yet no one's really done a, you know, I want to say consecutive prompt list challenge. So we know so many people who have stories, but they don't ever do anything with them, mainly because they don't know how. They don't know how to write a story. So we chose the hero's journey, which is the most well-known story template ever. Almost every great story of anything, movies, comics, everything, usually revolves around this formula, okay? And so we took the formula, we added a couple things in, but we didn't really disrupt what's really supposed to be there to get to the 30 days to make June. So that's kind of how it was born, but it was out of frustration and selfishness, because we also want to do that. And the thing with the illustration challenges in us, like, we would usually make them into a narrative anyway. So when Gabe did Drawtober, he ended up making an entire comic just from the prompts. So we were like, you know, maybe there are other people out there like this. And for Inktober 4 years ago, I ended up making a book. Shit. Hold on. I'll show you. Okay. Just to show you guys that we put our money where our mouth is. This was actually done, and some of you have this book. This is available on my Etsy, and it comes with an enamel pin that has to do with the story. But each page of this was done daily during Inktober 2014. I didn't even actually have a narrative to do, like, put with this when I first did it. I actually went back after October ended and retrofitted a narrative to it, and it ended up working out really good. But it ended up being like 4-line blurbs that are poems, basically, based upon this troll that takes care of the forest. So it's got all these in it, but I did them during Inktober. So Gabe and I have already been doing this sort of narrative challenge on our own. But we figure other people, why wouldn't they want to do it? Especially aspiring story writers. So obviously this is bound. So I've got like 4 bound books. Gabe's got numerous. And we can show you how to do that. But just so you know, we're not lying. I feel like sometimes it's good to prove. So when I do thumbnails and roughs and stuff, sometimes I'll go and find something that is kind of the ratio that I'll eventually want it to be. And honestly, if I end up wanting to make this longer or wider than it is right now, I can always go back and do that. It's not a big deal. But for the time being, I'm going to use a post-it note just as an outline for my thumbnails. So if you can actually find something that's kind of a template to be able to redraw your thumbnails consistently over and over again, it'll help you. One time I used, I think the other one here was when I did this. This was a business card or a trading card that I just kept, going over. Another one of my stories, I did the thumbnails a lot smaller, and I used a movie stub. It's really whatever you want. You can get a lot out of it, but were I to do this then, I'd probably do at least 1 or 2 thumbnails per day just to figure out what would work best. But I almost don't want to start day 1. That's supposed to be tomorrow. Like, I feel like I'm almost cheating doing it too early. I also could figure out her shop. I haven't done that yet. But I was thinking to do for training illustration and short poems illustrated. Okay, so Yan, if I were you, I wouldn't even worry about the poem yet. Honestly, no. Just get down what you want to get down. Like I said, I did all those drawings before I even, like, it was probably 3 months after October I went back. And I wrote that entire book in 3 days. I took 3 days off from my job when I used to have a job, like a full-time job. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do this and just make it happen, because that was the tipping point for me where my career and my full-time job started shifting, and I could feel that that wasn't important to me anymore. What was important to me now was getting my stories out, and because of that, I would just work to be able to allot myself time and money to be able to work on my personal stuff. So that was a big turning point for me. So this book is very much a bookmark, I guess, in my life, like a milestone that tells me where I was at. So that's another reason to make books, whether they're art books or storybooks. Art books are really easy to make. Honestly, you're just putting together a bunch of sketches that you did over a couple months to a year, 2 years, whatever you want, and you just throw them together in a nice, organized way. Like, the storybook aspect is obviously a lot harder, Well, Yan, the only way to do it, though, is to try. You'll only know if you write poems by writing poems. So, you guys have asked me in the past, how do you get fearless with art? Because Gabe and I would like to admit that we're now fearless about it. It's like we'll try anything. There's no perfection level that we need to get to, because that's going to be a standard that you give yourself and an expectation that's just going to kind of break you. You don't want any expectations, really. You want things you want to strive for, but you don't want to tell yourself, this has to be this way. Or, if it's not this, then I give up. Don't give yourself anything like that. You got to be patient with yourself. You have to be understanding. You have to be honest. You have to be a good critic for your own stuff. But to get fearless, you have to go up against fearful things a lot. That's how you gain courage, is you keep being put in the face of fear. And then as long as you're trying it, you're fighting it, you're gonna make it. You're gonna get fearless. I mean, think about it. If you are afraid of spiders, you know, and you keep having to go face to face with spiders, eventually you're gonna kind of go numb to it. So what you want to eventually honestly be is numb to some art, or at least starting it. It's weird because you eventually get this thing where you detach from your art, where your art is no longer you, like directly you, because we can usually tell a novice artist by how they talk about their art. If they're like, yeah, I'm so bad, I did this so wrong, I'm just terrible, that's bad. If you're a more professional artist, you would have said, this isn't one of my best pieces, I know it could have been better here and here, I've got to do this in the future, but otherwise, it's not up to par with my other stuff, but, you know, it's good. There's no self-deprecation. You haven't said anything about your person, okay? That's the difference. You need to stop saying you're a bad artist, because it's not the you that's bad, it's the art. You just have to get enough art out where, you know, it's not you anymore that's the problem. It never really was. You just have to understand that. It's a state of mind thing. But yeah, you gotta be understanding and patient. But like I said, it's totally a mindset. What was I gonna look up? I forgot what I was gonna look up. Huh. Oh, I was gonna look up the prompts. God. Ashley? Sorry if I get ranty, you guys. Shut me down. Yeah, Spongy, no, that makes sense. And I mean, hopefully you can, you know, look at them like, it's so hard to explain that they're an extension of you, but they aren't you. They're like children. Your kids aren't you. You know, if they turn out bad, I mean, yeah, I guess that could be because of you, but also it's their environment too, right? So, I don't know, I know that's kind of a stretch, but it's, you disassociate. Your art is not you, but it is you, if that makes sense. So for day one, it's our hero. Full body shot of the hero during a normal day. This is usually also called an establishing shot, and usually there's a shot before this even that's actually the establishing shot, which tells people where you are. Okay, so any movie when it's starting will usually give you a sprawling scene of where we are. Like, think of Star Wars, think of Willow, think of Legend. Anything usually starts out with, you know, a scene, right? They don't usually start off right away with the character, especially not like a medium shot or anything like that. So usually we have one before this one, but that's up to you guys if you want to include an establishing shot. But this is going to be our establishing shot. You just want to see fully what the hero looks like, what they're doing, very much what's them. So one thing for me could just be Hazel's at her shop, right? And she's giving someone a jar of honey, let's say. And I'll do this really quick so we can kind of break it down. Because you want to be able to say a lot of things in this first shot that explain a lot about where we are, who we're dealing with, all this sort of stuff, right? So remember the whole person, place, thing, or idea. What a noun is, when you break it down, who, what, when, where, why, that sort of stuff. You ask yourself all those things per prompt, really. Because it's like, okay, who, what, when, where, why, right? And how. They always ask how. But who, Hazel. What, like, she's giving something to someone. So she's obviously some kind of, maybe it's not clear yet, maybe she's charitable, maybe it's a shop, you can't really tell. I would think it's a shop if you show enough stuff that makes it look shoppy, maybe in the background showing other shops and other vendors, showing like, you know, fruit stands and various other products, give you the idea that this is a market mentality, right? So that's the what. When, that can be a little bit more ambiguous. Obviously, she's going to be wearing kind of medieval clothes, but if it's your own world, it could kind of be whenever. When isn't as important. Obviously, it could be in the way future, too. You know, in space or some crap. It could be that whole ancient future thing. We don't exactly know, but that's okay. That one's a little bit meh. But where, probably in a forest if we show a lot of trees and some grass and stuff like that. What, when, where, why? Don't know yet. If you can answer majority of those though, it's best. Let's say there's a little kid, maybe he's a bunny. I still haven't decided yet if I want other woodland creatures in her village yet, or if they should all just be bears. But let's say she's giving him a little jar of honey. Okay? So already, like, this is a pencil rough. As long as other people can see what's going on in your shot, that's kind of what we're looking for. Like, it could be this rough, but make sure you get in the background stuff, like I would do the other vendors. So this is still a thumbnail to me. My rough would be pencils that I would be prepared to ink, honestly. So excited to fill out the story some point during the day 5. The ending made itself present. Oh, that's exciting, isn't it? I found myself wishing it wasn't how it had to be. That's already written itself. Isn't that weird, Spongy? But it's also exciting because that means you understood your own story so well that it took itself over and told you how it ended. Like, that's exciting to me. That means you made something that kind of started breathing on its own. That's creation, right? I don't know, I think that's exciting. Let me go back up here.
You know what else is exciting? Getting paid.
I made double that, by the way.
Fuck you.
Where does creativity? Exactly. Unison, you are so right. Creativity cannot be learned really traditionally. Like, it's not a class. Creativity is kind of based on curiosity, I'm going to say. So the most curious people I know, including me and Gabe, we're super curious people. They're usually the most creative. And a lot of my patience that I do have has come from being creative and curious. To find out what happens with something. You know, to wait and see what happens with something. So, yeah, it's hard. Have one limit and make up good stuff. The other thing is to just walk the walk. So Unison's asking, how do you learn to do that stuff? Make stories again and again and again and again. And you'll find what works and what doesn't. To observe other stories too and know why they work and why they don't. Gabe knows I'm a pretty big critic when it comes to some stories. I will straight up bash them if it's like a bad story move.
I think the biggest problem is people don't...
They don't think about it.
Well, they also don't do it. And they're like, well, how do I do it? Well, did you try? Well, no, I haven't even tried. Well, how do you know if, you know, like, you cannot ride a bicycle if you do not sit on the bicycle. You know, like,
or even learn to drive a car.
Yeah.
Really, you can know the rules, but you won't know how to drive a car once you've gotten in a car and start driving. That's why they have behind the wheel, man. You gotta take it.
And I think the biggest problem too is that people want to make epics. They want to make Game of Thrones 20 issue.
Stop doing that. You have to stop doing that. Don't make anything epic because you won't be able to. You have to start small. And when I say making lots and lots of stories, you don't even have to write these down. Just have them go to fruition in your head. How did it start? How did it end? Gabe and I will be sitting somewhere and we'll see something and we'll make up an entire story to each other just talking it out. And you can do that with yourself. Like, we obviously alone would do that too. Like, we consider ourselves kind of natural storytellers because we look at things in the world and we can figure out a whole backstory to it, right? Start doing that with stuff. There's no reason you have to make it into a proper, you know, written, fruited out book, right? You don't have to do that. When we say make stories, we just mean go from a start to an end with something. And it can be just in your head. Really, as long as you're learning how it works, what makes a good story, you know? Be observant of other stories. I'm so conscious about separating myself from my Yeah, Yan, it's true. You have to just start showing people, and that's why we encourage you to post instead of holding it back, because the more you post, the more you'll get desensitized to what people think. You should never be doing art because of somebody else wanting you to do something, unless they're paying. But, like, don't do the whole, what should I draw on Instagram or anything like that. You should have things you want to draw. You should draw them, and then you'll get, you know, an audience that comes to you because they like what you draw. And then you'll never be, like, depressed about it, and they'll never be depressed about it because they're expecting certain levels from you. And if you're doing something you don't really want to do just to get people to like your art, like maybe you don't like flowers and girls, but you're drawing flowers and girls because you know that's one of the most popular things that gets you popular on Instagram and stuff, you're eventually going to be really sad. And then, not only that, if you get known for that or get famous for that, if you even try to deviate from that at any point, people are going to rage at you. And because they thought you were someone you weren't, right? So if you always stay true to yourself and you always do what you want to do, you can't really let anyone down, because you're always doing what you want and they're always coming to you for what you do, so no one loses. Yeah, don't get hung up on follows or likes. That's one of the worst things you can do. If you're one of those people that's prone to getting too attached to instant gratification, the way to kind of separate yourself from that, but to still be in the game, is do your thing, okay? Regardless of what anyone else thinks, do it the way you want to do it, post it, and then walk away. Don't check your Instagram for like the rest of the night or something. Nothing like that, okay? Because that's just going to make you more paranoid and, ooh, 2 likes in the past 20 minutes, or, you know, don't do that. That's bad. That's going to hurt you. Oh no, Spongy, don't get scared. I'm glad you're excited, but don't have it freak you out. So Unison, you want to keep making characters so you don't get too hung up on them. The whole kill your darlings thing really comes with being able to have characters that are meant to die or, you know, meant to go away. You should be making characters all the time that it's not a big deal if you know, the ones you made 10 years ago. If you do have any characters or stories that are like 10 years old, you should really ditch them at this point. Because honestly, they're not true to who you are probably anymore. You've changed in the past decade, you know? And really, you should be able to make new characters too if you're an actual storyteller. You should have these all the time. And really, if you don't, start practicing it. Start making characters, start doing these things, because otherwise you're not going to become that thing. And remember, you can't do those epics without doing a lot of little ones first to gain that experience to be able to fight the boss, which is the epic, right? Like having 100 or some characters, that's ridiculous. Hey DC, how you doing? Sniggle's here. Did you finish your errands? It's true, Fire Seal, preach. Hey D-pad. Yeah, glitter. You hear me, man. And sometimes pretty pairs of shoes are uncomfortable anyway, so. Hi, Crane. Oh, good, Sniggle. Yeah, Sniggle, I couldn't find that email. I don't even understand what happened, because we both remember it, but we can't find it. And I looked for your specific email even before you told me, the one in the Discord, because it was on your Etsy that you bought it, and I couldn't find it. So I don't even know what happened. Oh, Paladin! Thank you. A little stressed and tired, but good? That's good! Stressed and tired means you're at least probably doing something, you know? So, there are good stresses. Don't forget that, guys. You have good and bad stress. Hopefully it's good stress, DC. But yeah, there is good stress and bad stress. Just like there's, what, good credit and bad credit? I don't know. I forgot the saying with that. Let's see. But yeah, I could do something like this. It might even be smarter to establish the shot by having, let's see, Hazel here, instead being flipped around and in the front and showing Hazel from the front giving some honey to a little guy, because then I could probably fit in some more vendors back here. So honestly, guys, thumbnails, they can just be you thinking as you go, you know? Like, don't think anything you put on paper means it's forever. It's not. It shouldn't be scary. Did you see what Fire Seal said? So Unison, the only way to fix that is to do it. Remember what I said about being fearless? The only way to become fearless is to face fear over and over and over again, to become numb to it. So if you want to get good at something and you suck at something, do it more. Honestly, the answer is always there. People just don't want to do it. They're afraid. They're either afraid or they're lazy. That's what we're finding out. If you don't do something, you're either afraid or you're lazy. Do you want to be either of those? Would you rather have a book in your hand by the end of the month? What do you want? You know, depending on what you want. And we're here to help you. You know, I know we sound like bad guys sometimes, but that's only because we want you to succeed. You know, we want you to be able to walk the walk. When you say you have stories and somebody's like, well, where are they? You can pull out books. Don't you want that to be you? It's up to you, Glitter. Thanks for coming by. Goodbye forever, Crane. Oh no, DC. Well, at least then you kind of earn your weekend, right? Sometimes that feels good when you have to push really hard to get something done, and then you know you've got some reward or something sitting there afterwards. It's worth it, you know? Is lazy or afraid worse? I'd say both are bad. Both are equally bad. I would almost say lazy's worse, because being afraid is more of an instinctual thing. Fear is there to make you cautious, to make you more aware of your surroundings, right? Because you're afraid of doing something wrong. Like, it's primal, right? Fear is good. But lazy means you've thought about the thing and you've made up an excuse or a way to procrastinate, and you're acknowledging, yeah, I'm not doing it. That is worse, actually. That is much worse. They're both bad, but being lazy, there's actually thought that's associated with that, and your intention is bad.
I feel like lazy is like disrespectful to
lazy is disrespectful.
You're disrespecting yourself.
You are, yeah, 100%. Your intention with being afraid, you can still be going into battle, but you're afraid. The intention, though, is that you're still going into battle despite being afraid, right? Your intentions are good.
But if you're lazy, yeah, you're in the tent.
Yeah, your intention is to be tired. I don't want to do it. Okay, brat, whatever. Then you're never going to be a storyteller. Oh, but I don't want to. You're not meant for this then. Sorry.
When did I send out those things?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The zines. A few days ago, wasn't it? Monday?
Tuesday?
Because it was a day I didn't go work out.
You didn't work out Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, it was Tuesday. No, it was Tuesday because that's when the people were coming. That's why I did it in the morning. Yeah, actually, yeah. No, it is because I didn't want to use the masking tape, the packing tape, because it would be loud and you were sleeping. Because I woke up early to let the do it.
Oh, yeah, okay,
so
you're right.
Should be to you. Fire Seal, you should get it like probably this weekend, maybe even. Hopefully.
Yeah, everything is about intention. So, Sniggle, thank you. You're welcome, Unison. I hate writing out the things I say, because you guys know how passionate I am about this stuff, but when I have to write it out, you don't get to see my face or hear me. So when I write it out, I look like an asshole. And I know I do. And Unison, I felt so bad about what I wrote earlier. That's why I used all the hearts and stuff. So you knew I was saying it like, yeah, and not so, you know. But yeah, as I was saying, intention is everything. And this goes back to the fan art thing too, with intention of love, intention of money. Love, it's going to be free. Money, it's bad, right? Making art for those reasons and whatever. That was all of last year's theme to me, was intention. It is the best word ever because it can really define people for you. You know, if you figure out why someone didn't come to your party or something, what was their intention? Did they actually have to go visit their grandma and whatever? Or did they just not want to go? Like, intention is everything. Even if someone, like myself, is a little bit mean, what is my intention? I care too much. I don't want you to fail because I like you. I don't want you to fail.
My intention is usually, I'm tired of hearing your shit. Do this or I will not talk to you anymore. That's usually my intention.
Gabe won't hang around with people who are fakes, you know? And I agree, if I can get away from that. You want to surround yourself with people that you admire, the people that you also share a lot of comparisons with. You want people that'll drive you, you know, who will make you be a better you. If you're around people who are lazy, you're going to end up lazy. I'm sorry, it's true. So, depending on how serious you are about things, like if I wasn't with Gabe, I'd probably be alone, except for the internet. Like, I'd surround myself with internet people, but I would just be in my work. I'm a workaholic, admittedly, and I mean, if we took down like an itinerary of what we do every day, you guys would probably throw up. Like, it's so much, and we work from the minute we wake up to the minute we go to bed, every day. Except the other day, I had a whole hour. I was so happy. Sorry, let me catch up in chat.
Also, last night I played video games. Whatever.
Gabe's a little bit more loose with stuff. I'm more of a hard ass, and he knows it. I have to really earn my keep. Did you see I redid my commission thing here?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
Fuck, that's clean as hell.
So during my hour I had, I actually made my organization better to be able to do my work better. Like, I'm lame. Whatever. Road to hell, yada. Paved with good intentions, yada. Basically. Yeah, so it's basically me running the JourneyJune stuff on social media. And it's not because Gabe doesn't want to. He's great at social media. It's because I'm a control freak. I mean, admittedly, I'm a control freak. I love consistency. Everything so far has been consistent, and I'm so happy with that. So, even with how we answer everything, it is me answering it. So, you're gonna get a me answer, which I think is good, because I'm giving you facts, I'm giving you motivation, I'm pumping you up. Every time I go into a new comment, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to instill all those things. I won't answer a comment if I'm in a bad mood for some other reason, because I know it won't be genuine. So I try to wait till I've, fixed myself.
I think my problem is that I answer comments with a lot of like really bad sarcasm.
You have a lot of mixed signals with yours.
Yeah, and they're also very they come off bad because there's a lot of things that people ask that are just really either redundant or it's like a child being like, but mom, what if I get tired while I'm cleaning? Shut the fuck up.
Really, it is. Like, sometimes when you guys will say something to yourself, you know how sometimes the minute it leaves your lips, you sound stupid and you're like, shit, I shouldn't have said that. Some people don't reread what they said. Mm-hmm. It's like, reread what you said. You know the answer, Like, did you have to ask this question? I mean, isn't it obvious, Crane? I'm a control freak. Come on.
Somebody yesterday asked me, is there because we have an event for the Facebook for JourneyJune, and somebody asked me, is there a location for this event?
You can't use that.
And I said,
one.
Did you read the event? And then 10 minutes later, it's like Inktober, but okay. Do you think there's going to be a place for us to do that at?
I actually put for your place your imagination.
Oh,
he probably got. This is his brother. Okay,
brother.
His brother doesn't count. like in terms of this.
But that's the level of things that people ask. It's like, did you take 1 second to think?
My thing
Try
is,
to answer your question.
and you're starting to adapt this
Yeah.
and adopt it. My frustration lies with people where 2 more seconds. If you thought about what you just said for 2 more seconds, you'd have the answer. No one thinks before they say things anymore, and it drives me up the wall.
4 or 5 moments, Deadpool. 4 or 5 moments is all you need.
Aw, Shay. Wish I could bust ass and have your work ethic. To be fair, my work ethic and stuff comes from dark places I've turned into light places. To be fair. But really, it's just practice and being diligent and being disciplined. Just don't give that up. You know, you have to set things for yourself. If you have a problem staying with the schedule or being habitual or you are lazy, you have to start figuring out what makes you not lazy. Okay? I know that sounds stupid. But at the same time, it's true. Because you have to figure out how to hack yourself. For me, it's guilt. For my 40 commissions I've got, it's guilt. The fact I sometimes put mental situations in a physical space. It'll help you so much. So something that happens on the internet, right? If you're disturbed by it, put it in a physical place. So I've got 40 people staring at me right now in a circle, waiting for me to hand them a portrait, right? Some are behind other ones because the ones in the front are the ones who have been waiting the longest because it's like a front line, I guess, when people get, I know it sounds kind of morbid, when people get shot, like in the old days for,
Oh, yeah.
what am I thinking of? Like culinary?
Civil War and shit? Yeah, culinary wars?
Colonial wars. And then
rough.
it was the stupidest way to do battle, but they did it. But anyway, that's what I want you to see. So I hand them their portraits, and they fall over, and then the next one's behind them.
It was honorable, madam.
No, I mean, I kind of agree with like war rules, but not those ones.
But even though they still had snipers, which is really weird. So.
That is weird, and those guns weren't even. Anyway.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I just thought of every single one of you who's doing this challenge. Probably all of you have a printer or have access to a printer. Print out like a month, a calendar that has a month on it.
Yeah.
Or a weekly one.
Yeah.
So that you can write things on it or even like just scratch off that day.
That too. I did that. We have like 5 calendars around us. They're on stuff. Like I've got them on walls and things, but each one's for a different thing. And that's smart. I feel like that's very smart.
Holy shit.
Also, DC Cool, please, put your link to your miniature for sure. We've got miniature fans in here.
Yeah, me too. You know what? Maybe we should make like a quick. I mean, I could do it. Just a quick like 4 images that's like 1 week like blocks. So they print out the 1 week blocks. That way they have enough space to write. All right, day 1. The blah blah blah, and then
if
day 2
you
the blah blah blah.
them, sure.
Or even just write, in there. Okay, after I'm done with this.
Gabe will make you a worksheet, apparently.
Yeah.
See, this is how much we care.
I sniggle every fucking day.
Is this about my crazy eyes?
What?
He asked Gabe, does Ashley get crazy eyes?
No,
sometimes?
he asked me, do I fear for my life?
Oh.
That's all I saw. But
wait, does that have to do with me too?
No, like I fear like I don't say these things and I think them, but like I think like okay, in the next 2 years, if nothing has happened like substantially to me, then maybe I should start looking for like a real job where I'm, I don't know, mopping floors or some shit at like a big corporation. I don't know.
I wouldn't let him do that.
No, but everyone has those fears, and like.
Oh, Sean, thank you for the follow. Finish what you're saying, Gabe.
But no, I mean like, your life will change radically every like 5 to 10 years. Like you cannot stop that, and if you don't stop it, if you want to stay at the same job forever, then okay.
Shay, having kids, that is honestly the only excuse I can see for any of these challenges. If you have kids, I understand. That one makes sense. I still think you could maybe squeeze in the time, but if you can't, remember that these aren't due the day they're due, okay? We just really highly suggest you do them every day or get ahead if you can, just so you don't fall behind. Because the minute you fall behind, you're going to start beating yourself up. You're going to get too far behind. You know, one day becomes 5 days, all that sort of stuff. So really try to stay diligent, but I totally get the kids thing. And, you know, we have lots of friends with kids. We see the chaos. We understand.
I think everyone's still hung up on the idea that what exactly do you think you're drawing? Like, what do you guys... Like, I feel like everyone thinks that they have to draw something fully colored, fully inked.
Yeah, no. Just pencil roughs. A step up maybe from this. You could even do this, and that's okay, as long as we can tell what's happening. DC cool. I am lazy by trying to push myself. Good, but the fact you know you're lazy is bad, because you know you're prone to it, which means you give in to it, which laziness will beget nothing. You will never be able to make anything if you are lazy. Start getting angry. Because, I mean, to quote Orlando Jones in American Gods, anger gets shit done.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get angry enough, something will happen. That's why I'm the way I am. I do a lot of stuff. I'm always angry. I'm like the Hulk, man. My secret is I'm always mad. I'm going to share. I'm extremely proud this past month I worked my sketchbook. Shit. Spongie's killing it, you guys.
Yeah, she is.
Forging, making breakfast every day. I cook for Gabe basically every day, too. I feel you. Oh.
I feel like nobody actually wants it.
Yeah, we figure if you want it enough, you'll do it. If you eventually want to be an actual storyteller, you'll do it. And if that's what you're afraid of, that we're not going to see how much you want it, that's totally in your court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is up to you. I want to put a bit of pressure on people with this challenge. Usually these art challenges, it's like, oh, whatever you want, draw the thing, do the illustration, you know, whatever. There's nothing really detrimental with that. This is important. Okay, this isn't like that. This isn't just whatever. This is planning. This is prioritizing. This is being able to reorganize your life to make things happen. Because if you don't start doing that, you will never do anything worthwhile in your life. And I mean that. If you don't start learning how to do this, it'll always be tomorrow. It's so true when people say, just do it today. If you've got an idea or whatever, just do it today. Because you know what? At least you get it done. You can assess how it is, and if you like it or not, and you can do it again the next time. It's fine. Think about books that have been republished 4 or 5 times. That could be you. I've printed this at least 4 times. I've changed it probably 3 times. 3 times now. I actually added a guest art section in this last print run that has Tim in it, it's got Gabe in it, and it's got Tyler in it. So I didn't have this before. So you can always redo things. There's no reason not to. There should be no fear. You should have no fear because there's nothing to be afraid of. Okay? Except to fully not do anything. Okay? We'd rather you tried and failed than to have never tried at all. God, I get tired of hearing myself talk. But yeah, Spongy, you should be very proud. And I'm sure you are. You're smart. You know how to assess yourself. With a herd of little elves. Oh, that's so cute. I mean, incorporate them in your story, maybe. If they've each got a cute little personality, heck, they could be in it. It's a lot of people to draw, though, but I'm always thinking about fan art. Kree's art, thank you for the host and the raid. I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry. I was on a rant. I get on rants. Hi, guys. Sorry, right now we're discussing JourneyJune. For anybody who's curious, the main link you need, though, is this JourneyJune prompt list. That'll tell you all the expanded prompts with all of the stuff in them. It's a storytelling challenge. It's not quite an illustration challenge, okay? Krees, thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for the raid. You're wonderful. Yeah, I'm all lit up right now. My work ethic has been honed, though, Shay. Like, over years. And honestly, I've only been freelancing what year is it? 2.5 years now. So I had a full-time job, and I was a little bit more lazy when I had the full-time job because I couldn't figure out when to do the things I wanted to do, because by the time I got home, I was tapped out, right? But I did do this entire book from just doing things at home. The key was when I was at work and I got the creative urge to do something for the book, I would sneak it in. And I would start writing a little bit of what I should do for later. And then once I got home and I was too tired to think, that's okay because I did the thinking earlier and I just ended up executing it once I got home. And then all I had to do was draw, and it was just relaxing. Bye, Fire Seal. Thank you for the follow. I'm going to call you Dolph. Is that okay? Oh, I really like that little emoji. Yeah, DC, I did. I think it's really cute. I think you did a good job. I would add maybe some other colors to it if you could. Just the black and the red is, unless it's like a shadow dude, then maybe not, but you could put some light gray on certain areas to have his parts pop out more, because he looks a little too flat. But otherwise, you're doing good. Gray Paladin in here is actually a miniature artist too. So if you guys want to jam, totally can. Aw, Paladin, thank you for the bits. And thank you for the follow, Wapak. Wapik? Wapak. Maybe it's Wapak. Hi, Tibotu. How are you? So right now I'm showing how to do quick like thumbnail roughs of JourneyJune days, in what you can possibly do and why. The who, what, when, where, why formula is actually really good to follow when you're doing any sort of planning visually. It really helps your scenes become more full, more cohesive, having a lot more explanation to them. The whole show, don't tell. You know, you want to be able to visually show it without having any extra text or anything that has to explain, well, we're here and blah, blah, blah. Show that you're there, you know, stuff like that. You're painting? That's awesome. I'm working on JourneyJune, so technically taking this character and doing some more planning, because tomorrow, around the same time today, maybe an hour ago about, we started this stream, and tomorrow we're going to be the same time here again. We're going to be doing the kickoff stream for JourneyJune, which starts the 1st of June. So if anybody's interested in hopping on, you still have tonight to do it. I'll put our link again in here for all of our stuff. Everything's basically under Journey Through June on all our social media. We're on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere basically. But these are watercolors. They're basically still all concept art. I was trying to get a feel for the character. But for the most part, I'm showing today how to start thumbnailing any of your days that you're thinking about doing. Because the whole thing is that you don't have to do full illustrations. This is not one of those monthly art illustration challenges. This is a storytelling challenge. So for anybody who has stories, they say, oh, I've got so many stories. Well, have you written them? No. Do you have them in book form? No. Do you have anything for them? It's all up here. Okay. Well, we're going to show you how to walk the walk instead of just talk the talk, which a lot of people just talk the talk. We'll teach you how to walk. So that's what this whole thing is. Hi, Wubbles! 49. Woo! Look at that. So, it's good to thumbnail and be loose with them, be quick with them, because if you don't like kind of the staging of something right away, you know, then it's probably like, well, I'll try again. You know, maybe this isn't what it should look like, and depending on camera angles and stuff. Like, I'm not too keen on this one as much as the last one, but I have found out I'm a big fan of, like, old school staging with a lot of storytelling, so like Beatrix Potter and stuff, where it's usually a side view, it's usually a front view. So I actually like this one a lot more. I like the scale difference. If I redid it again, I'd probably move them over and put more over here. Which, like I said, these are just the thumbs. They're disposable. Throw them away. Doesn't matter. Remember to get fearless with art. You're supposed to keep doing it. A lot of times. Even if you're scared, keep going. Because the only way to get courage is to go up against things that you're afraid of. Doesn't matter if you win. The point is that you did them. You went up against them. That's courage. And that's how you get fearless with art. You do it. Rather, you know, with anything, really. Talk what? Oh, thanks, D-pad. Hey, Katie. Can we have a baked brownies for Crane challenge? You can't make your own brownies? I am Wobbles. Yeah, I try not to look, though. I think the last time I looked at how many followers I had, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm not about that, man. You can't be about that.
I think once you've got your affiliate status, like...
Yeah, once it's affiliate, and it's honestly really difficult to get partner. Like, they've made it really hard for just people even like Gabe or I. If you're someone else who had a big following somewhere else, like on YouTube or something, and you come over to Twitch, it's going to be a lot easier. Because the hardest one to get is consistent watchers. Okay? And you're supposed to have like 75 average viewers per stream. And for, you know, a regular person, we've only been on Twitch maybe a year. So regardless of how many followers you have, it's the people who consistently come back and watch you per stream. So I actually wonder if you streamed less often, if that's better, because then your average is going to be better.
No.
Yeah.
No, because imagine if you have a day where it's just off, and you had really good streamers, that'll like drastically knock it down.
True.
You know. Whereas if you have a really good day, like today, it'll like knock it up a bit.
Oh, Spongy, wait, I didn't see what you said before. Why are we getting feisty? You're not streaming till later tonight? Okay, that's fine. Well, thank you, Wubbles. I appreciate you saying that. Crane, you don't have the means to make brownies? Oh, guy. Exactly, Wubbles. That's who I was referring to. Which, yeah, I mean, at least he accumulated those over a few years, so I guess he earned it, obviously, but, you know, for us, you and us, it's gonna be a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's a grind, and I think they did that on purpose, which is fine. At least we got affiliates so we can get bits and stuff.
Well, I feel like it weeds out the people that aren't actually serious and that don't actually want to put in the time.
Yeah, but I'd
or
almost
effort.
say this is like way too serious. This is like long run. This is years.
Which I think that's also why they have the option to, like, if you message them and you're like, hey, I want to apply for it manually.
I've done that 3 times.
Yeah.
Every time, even recently, they were like, no.
Uh-huh.
So, Wobbles, even applying, like, because some people have said if you get enough, you know, of a following and all this stuff and you have, like, a good brand or whatever, they've said that, you know, oh, you might be able to still get partner. Really, I've done that 3 times, and they keep replying with, well, once you get that achievement, and it's like, well, if I can't do it and I've got a whole shtick, you know, it's like, man. I find that if I stream myself, it's true. It's the same way with Twitch, Paladin. So we have a friend that only streams once a week, and I don't think it's his main thing. He doesn't need to do it as much, and really I don't think he likes to do it as much. So he only does it once a week, and so he could have partner if he wanted to, but he doesn't care enough. But it is true, if you have a schedule, because schedule is key when you're starting Twitch. You have to have a schedule. And if you can kind of have a couple days that are intermittent, you know, or find out where most of your audience is and kind of cater it to that. So like Paladin, if majority of your audience was European, obviously do it for your time zone, you know. Ours kind of goes around, so that's why we've got the 9 p.m. and the 2 4 p.m.s. Because for us, it seems like we get a good mix of everybody. Plus, you're a night owl, so you and Crane both. But you're still here, you know. But definitely have a schedule and have it posted everywhere you can, so people know. And some people are into Twitch, some aren't, and that's why I was telling you too, it's important to export your past broadcasts once you can to YouTube. I just got like 5 subscriptions on YouTube yesterday because I uploaded more of my old Twitch broadcasts, because some people don't really care about, you know, what we're talking about or like the interaction. They just kind of want to see what you did. But what if I never stopped streaming ever? We've thought about that. We've thought about what would happen if we stopped. What would happen if we kept going. Right now we treat it as a job. So, you know, we don't want to be late for our job or unprepared or anything like that. Well, that's good, Paladin. Yeah, and if the longer you guys can stream, like, once you start a stream, the longer you can go. If you're a marathoner and you can do that, that's the best thing. Really, you'll get a lot of raids, you'll get a lot of watchers, you'll get higher in that viewer list, which is good. Sadly, Gabe and I haven't been able to do that as much because we have so much other work, so we have to really split our time, and we've got conventions, so we never get a good run at the whole Twitch thing because, like I said, it will go good for a while and then we'll have to leave for a convention, so then we can't stream for like 4 days, so it kind of hurts. But weird Crane. I guess I could do it like this. Maybe I should show more of this. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Remember, you don't have to be a gallery artist either. Gabe and I were talking about this the other day. Everybody seems to have this thing where you have to be a gallery artist or spend hours and hours and hours on your paintings. You don't. You don't. There's a job, or at least people out there for every type of artist. So whatever suits you best in your mentality, how you like to work, there is something out there for you. The trick is finding the audience and being able to figure out what kind of artist you are. Those are the caveats.
I think that might be the biggest problem that people have, is that they don't try to figure out what kind of artist they want to be, and they just...
they do what they see.
They do what they see, and they're like, oh, I want to be like that guy. I want to have all the follows, but, like, is that what you want to draw, though?
Remember that your heroes don't necessarily have to be the template for you. You can still think they're your hero, but their journey may not be your journey, you know? And I've tried to emulate in the past other people that I admire, and it's like, that doesn't fit me. And once I gave into what did fit, I felt so much better, and I was producing better art that I thought, you know? And only what matters is what you think anyway, so... Katie, that is a fantastic question. Thank you for always asking really good questions. How do I plan on balancing commissions? Not only commissions, but I've got a part-time job too. I'm also running JourneyJune as well as participating in it. But yeah, I've got lots of commission work. So I'm at least planning like an hour a day to work on JourneyJune. My actual days. It's probably going to take another hour out of my schedule to actually prep the prompts for you that day to put on the Instagram account. Well, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. So every day I'm going to be putting up the prompt. I'm going to be saying the stuff in the prompt so you know what's coming that day, just in case you didn't look back on the website. So you can turn on notifications for the Journey Through June account. It'll help you, because I'll put it up. I'll try to do it earlier in the day, so that means I have to do it the night before. And any questions you have that day, maybe you get it in the morning, you read through it, you're like, oh, okay, cool. maybe by lunchtime you're like, wait, I don't get what she means by this. Then comment on it, and I'll get back to you pretty instantaneously. I'm pretty good about being on it, and we'll figure it out. Also, on the days we stream, we're probably going to be working on it then too. That might actually be our allotted time for it. So if you, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday, want to do your Journey June with somebody, come do it with us. Come do it on the streams. Because we'd love it if you allotted that time in your day during our stream to do it. Because then if you're doing it and you're like, oh, I got a problem with that, what should I do? You can ask us live. You know, and then it's more like we're having an art jam together. We can do that every day, minus Fridays. We need a day off. But tomorrow, we are doing the kickoff stream at 4 p.m. CST. So we'll do that together. Let me catch up. That works, Paladin. How do you figure out what kind of artist you want to be? Yan, great question. How do you figure out what kind of artist you want to be? Try as many things as you can. Try working on a painting for 12 hours, see how you feel. You know, some people do 20 or 30 hours and they're perfectly content doing that, and that's like, I could never do that. That's not who I am. And at this point, that's as for sure to me as me being like, I don't want to go to the bar. That's not the person I am. So now I just, if I find out what I like and what I don't like, just like art, just like real life, just turn it down. It's fine. For when you're figuring out who you are, saying yes is okay. Trying things is okay. You're supposed to. Because figuring out what you don't like is just as important as figuring out what you do like. Because what you don't like will put you in the way of what you do like. Stuff like that. So it's important to try everything. Try all the medias you can. Try different mediums, like paints and pencil and digital and whatever. But if you're just starting art, don't start with digital. That's my only thing. Don't start.
You know what sucks though about like trying new mediums?
What? They're expensive?
All that, but then also everyone sucks initially at mediums, especially the hard ones.
You have to be very patient with yourself and understanding. You know, you might come across something that you really like working with, but you suck at it. That's okay. You know how you fix that? You do it a lot. That's it. If you mess with it though and you really are like, oh, I don't like what this is doing, like let's say charcoal, okay? I don't like working with charcoal, okay? But I do like working with pastel pencils because they're contained, but I still get the softness of charcoal and regular pastels, but I don't get the nastiness, you know, and the coffeeness.
Yeah.
But you gotta figure those things out. So the only way I figured out how I like doing my commissions is by doing a bunch of things, figuring out what parts I didn't like, supplementing those with other things I liked, and eventually creating a formula for an easy way for me to pump out my pet commissions. So how that started was one day I was like, I want to get good at markers. I like giving myself challenges. So I was like, I'm going to get good with markers. So I started playing with markers. And you can see my entire marker journey on my Instagram. I documented the entire thing, every piece I did. It's all on there. So you can see up until the point where I am now, which is about 4 or 5 years at this point. But you can see how it went. And I got to the point where I was like, I really hate blending markers. I don't want to blend markers. I just wanted to use markers as a flat. Once I figured that out, then I was like, well, what's wrong with how this looks? Or what don't I like about it? Well, it's too flat. How do I render that out? Well, then I started taking a white pencil and a brown pencil and I started rendering it, the shadows and the highlights. And I was like, okay, that's good. But using both of those seemed to take away the color, and plus the marker wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be. So what do I do then? Then I started using pastel pencils, and once I used the pastel pencil, done. It was fine. It like pumped all the color, it made it more full, and it gave it all of the life back to it that I originally started with. So to me that was the perfect mix. But the only way I figured out how to do that was to self-assess as I went, figuring out what I liked and what I didn't like and what the art needed more of, okay? Really treat each piece you do as its own thing and not a reflection of your personal self, okay? Your art, if it sucks, You don't suck. That's stupid. Why would you think that? You know? If your art sucks, it just means that you're not at a level yet where your brain is connecting with your hand as well. You just need to improve that communication. It's a language, right? So just keep going with that. Eventually, it just takes time. That's it. Time and dedication and diligence. You can do it. Bye, Spongy. You're great. We love you. Oh, Shanghai chicken, yo. Damn. Spongy has good food. She always makes really good food. Aw, Dan. Well, feel free to come back anytime. We do this shit all the time. I'm usually always this lit. I try to get more done than 3 thumbnails. But like I said, on the other streams, I'll show you real quick. On the other streams, you know, we've done these sort of things. JourneyJune's been a bit different. So I've finished all these on streams before, but believe me, we get stuff done. But this one, this is important, because I feel like we're amping up to something for tomorrow. So I want to put a fire under your butt, you know? It's important right now. Sometimes that's fun, Crane. I feel you. I get it. Crane, I'm glad you took some time off work. Do you think it's going to help? I saw your post. I think whenever somebody can take some time off work that's been working too much, I'm proud of you. You know, that's not easy to do. I used to be a workaholic too and feel guilty every time I took a break. Now I'm learning, especially freelance, I have to stop at some point, or else I'll go crazy. So for me, my stopping point is really just going to bed when I want to and not sacrificing sleep as much. Right now I'm not to the point of sacrificing sleep. I feel like June will be the time though, so I might end up being a little bit ornery during June. Ugh. Troop, thank you for the host. Same with you, Steve. It's an auto host, but he can't hear me, but thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Shonda. You're sweet as hell. Thank you so much. Yeah, I haven't updated in a couple days because I'm running JourneyJune, but, you know, sacrifices here and there. That's okay. Eventually they'll even out, though, because I'll be updating my personal account with what I do for the other account, and vice versa, so it should balance out eventually. Okay, so even Call to Adventure could be... So, let's say Hazel's call to adventure is someone broke into her honey shop and broke one of her honey things, or broke a bunch of them, and then stole one, right? And let's say we've got honey tracks of some kind of animal leading out, and she's holding a honey jar, right? That should really tell you a lot in just one glimpse, which is what we're going for. You want to do the who, what, when, where, why, wherever you can in all your stuff. And try to show the character's emotion when you can, so she's obviously sad about it. That's important for your character. Are they angry at what's happened? Are they sad? How would they react? You know, depending on a character, like think of a famous character right now, and if something broke of theirs, or someone broke something of theirs, how would they react? Would they be mad? Would they be sad? Would they throw a tantrum? What would they do? You know, so you have to do the same thing with your character. Gabe, what would your character do?
Well, I guess if someone broke it and they knew who it was, or they don't know who it was.
They don't know who it is.
Yeah, I think he'd want to investigate about it.
So yours would be investigative.
Yeah.
He'd be indifferent, but he'd want to know who did it.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be angry. He'd just be like, jeez. And then he'd probably go to check the security cameras and see.
See, there you go. So he's scientific about it. He's more detached. Hazel's more fragile. This is her livelihood. Someone came in and broke a bunch of her inventory. She worked hard at that. She had to make that. So she's sad about it. She's not the type to get mad about it, right? So really, throwing your character into little situations like that will really help you figure out who they are. figure out like a situation where they've been wronged by someone. Maybe someone comes up to them, swears at them, slaps them in the face. What would they do? I think Hazel would probably just be like, oh, and kind of curl up and think she did something wrong, right? She's more delicate, like a victim. Gabe's guy would probably be on the ready, like, I'll kill you, you do it again. You know? I don't think he'd do anything.
He wouldn't react like that badly, but he'd definitely be like, hey, what was that for? What's your problem, buddy? Yeah.
This summer, honey isn't as sweet as murder. I like it, Sniggle.
Bobby Newport.
Oh, good, Crane. Yeah, I could see that could be weird, having time off but still not having a change of scenery. Maybe it'll be good for you to go out whenever you feel like. Maybe when you would normally be working, go out to like a park or something, or just like an area that's really different. It doesn't have to be inside or anywhere else.
Who's got time off?
Crane took time off for the first time in like 5 years.
Damn.
So good for you first for taking time off for yourself. That's very important that you recognize that and that you actually acted on it. So good for you. The next step though is to actually feel like you're resting. So put yourself in restful situations, you know, places that you don't associate with work, so to speak. You know?
Go to the library, dude.
I mean, maybe that's not his thing, though.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever your thing is, you know, for me, it's just sitting outside in nature if it's not boiling ass hot, you know. In a world. It's true. Hey, Austin, how you been?
Austin.
Been a while. So let's have Hazel here holding a broken pot like, what? Why? The problem is, though, that I have to communicate that she didn't do it. That she's holding the broken pot like, what happened? You know? So that could be the toughest part of this prompt, right? And if I wanted to, with the rate I'm going with this, I could finish probably half the prompts today just by doing this sort of, you know, just remember who, what, when, where, why. Okay? It is important. Paladin, thank you for the bits. You're so good. Are we still on today for talking about your overlay? Right after? And then today I have to try to start at least 1 or 2 commissions. We've got 2 weeks until we go to a convention, so I have to get some stuff done. Working a lot, is that a good thing, Austin? Are you happy to be working a lot? Yeah, Sniggle, you sound like you've been killing yourself lately.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe and I have been worried.
You've seen birds and shit on signs? It's crazy, man. Like
What?
on his Insta story.
Oh.
There was like a pigeon or something on the aisle 7 sign.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That bird was real.
Yeah.
He was real. I don't know why I really like the aesthetic of like mason jars and other kinds of jars with the, you know, when they cover them with the burlap or whatever and then they use twine around them.
Mm-hmm.
I love that shit.
A pioneer woman stuck in a
I don't like
modern...
pioneer stuff. I don't like colonial anything.
No, just pioneer though. Pioneer and colonial can be separated. Like raccoon hats and shit? No? But that's all like living in the woods.
That's all colonial times, though.
No,
if
but
not later.
I feel like when I hear colonial, I see.
Dude, do you know what a pioneer is?
No, but I see whenever I hear colonial, I see people in like blue overcoats with big ass buttons and that fucking lame pirate hat.
Pioneers are like the guys during that age who weren't in a city. I mean, Davy Crockett and shit.
Yeah,
that's that's this era. That's cowboys and shit.
Okay.
I don't know what you were thinking.
I was just thinking of dudes like in like.
This is colonial.
Oh.
If not earlier.
No, that's colonial. What about the pioneers? Just pioneer? No.
Those are the people going west.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how
Never
you
mind.
didn't know this.
I was
Come on,
thinking of just
America.
dudes that just live like in the woods and they have like raccoon hats and they wear like
No.
coats made of bears and shit. And they got
No.
boots made out of
Honey,
fox
no.
fur and stuff.
You mean Native Americans?
Okay, yeah.
They're not pioneers because they lived here.
Yeah.
Pioneers are those that like go out and find stuff, basically. Great. He eats broken cereal. I love that you said broken cereal. That's so cute. Bear wobbles, they are way different, but it's the near. He's thinking medieval stuff, but he's using the word pioneer.
Yeah, I was thinking medieval shit.
I know him well enough to know what he's thinking and how he's using it wrong.
Though, did they have like glass jars like that were commercially available back in the day, where they would put burlap over them?
I mean, that could just be anything, though.
Uh-huh.
I mean, think of how far back canning goes. Canning isn't necessarily something, new. That goes way back. They had jam in medieval times. Come on.
Did they?
Yeah. It's jam.
How did they keep it though?
Do you know what canning is? Preserves?
Yeah, but how did
it's called
they-
preserves for a reason.
But how did they can them?
You have to, boil them, and then you have to put, preserved stuff in them.
No, I mean, like, how did they get the cans? Did they make
They're
cans?
usually jars and stuff. Mason jars, dude.
So
It's
no, I know.
glass.
But then, so like, when did they start making glass? Like,
This is how you brainstorm things.
Yeah.
This is why Gabe and I are good storytellers, because we think of questions like this and we keep asking questions. Though it makes Gabe look very naive.
well, so no. What I'm asking is like, when did glass become affordable to anyone? Does that make
Glass is
sense?
sand, though.
No, but you can't just make a glass jar. Like, you can't just be that. Like, when was it commercially available to like anyone?
Stone Age.
No, commercially available. Like, if you wanted a
Well, they were making glass in the Stone Age.
right, but it didn't. It looked like a jagged piece of shit. You know,
No,
it didn't
not
look.
necessarily.
It wasn't like super clear or anything.
You're
like
asking
that.
when they were able to start shaping it.
Yeah. So then
Okay.
you had a glass that you could actually put jar into and make it
This
look.
says ancient Egypt,
Damn.
which is mid 3rd millennium BCE.
Because all I keep thinking about is people drinking from tins. You know, from like metal cups.
That's just because it's cheap and non-breakable
yeah.
for
so,
cowboys.
So no, I'm thinking medieval times
Well, they used wood a lot.
or wood. Yeah. So then.
Well, think about Vikings. Vikings used a lot of wood mugs.
Yeah. So then I'm thinking like, okay, so where did people keep their jam and shit back in the day?
I mean, the same barrels and stuff.
In like, yeah, probably like wood barrels and
Yeah,
stuff.
wood.
Which means then that wood was super tasty and smelled great.
And
And
probably,
grape.
you've heard about how they make whiskey, right?
Yeah. You heard
Okay.
about how they make Tabasco sauce, right?
And whiskey things?
Yeah. Living in a crazy
But
world.
the reason people didn't carry around glass was obviously because it was easily
Breaking.
breakable.
Yeah.
They usually used tin or wood.
So then I guess it was more of a fancy thing to have.
Shonda. Yeah, clay too. Yeah,
Clay.
Paladin's right. Yep.
Though I feel like clay would probably break a lot easier.
Oh yeah. But if that's all you got, that's all you got. I mean, think of your people, Gabe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we didn't have
I
a lot
can
of wood.
say that. That's
Yeah,
not
no,
racist.
that's fine. For you to say that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of your people. Because you guys had tons of access to clay, but not so much other things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we had that much wood to really fuck with. I mean, I'm sure we did, but probably a lot more clay.
I'm just thinking of Age of Empires with all of this. I know it doesn't really have much to do with it, but that's all I think of. Oh, Iron Cross. You got you. Got so many rupees from that honey jar. Makes so much sense. Who would do this to Hazel? Why? She's just a humble honey merchant. Okay, see? If you did something like this for day 2, that's fine. That is more than fine. How long did that take me? And I was talking a lot.
You're done.
You condensed it probably 10 minutes.
Yep. That's it.
You can't do that in a day? Come on!
That's it. You're done. Go outside and play now.
Your homework is over. Oh, Peach! Peach is here! Peach!
Hi, Peach.
Oh, we miss you, Peach. Oh, she says I look fantastic. You're so sweet.
The other day, I think on Monday, I was like, yo, where the hell has Peach been? Did she die?
See, I knew you had done stuff on the Instagrams, but I forgot to tell you. So, how's your move? Did you move? Crane says cavemen also had vacuums and flying cars.
That's true.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we've all seen, Flintstones.
Those aren't flying cars, they use their feet.
Yeah, well, they're flying.
What?
Totally flying.
What?
What?
Yo! Whoa!
What's going on?
I don't know, man.
It's like
Should
blowing
be
you
blown
up.
up. Damn. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Peach. We missed you here. Yeah, but America's the new Rome, so we're gonna fry at some point, y'all. It's going downhill from here. For anybody wondering, I really gotta put that into the thingy. Yeah, depending on where you are, things could be cheap.
She was a witch, bro.
Okay, so tomorrow, remember, 4 p.m. CST when we start today, here again for JourneyJune kickoff day. After I'm done streaming, we're gonna probably put up a story about it for tomorrow, and then we'll probably do another one tomorrow, so you know. And then we'll do them together, okay? So if nothing else, if you don't have any time set aside, but you're gonna be free then, do it with us. We'll start the journey together. And then someone will get dysentery along the way. And then a couple of our buffalo will die. Or bison. I forget what it is. Jam June. It's true. No, you're totally right, Paladin. I'm totally with that. Do you guys know what Croatoa is? Croatoan? I always thought that story was cool. Kind of unrelated, kind of not. I don't know. A friend of mine who is kind of he was, I don't want to say an exhibitionist, that's the wrong word. He was very, there's a word I'm looking for. Eclectic. He's very dramatic. When he quit the job that he was at, that I kind of helped him get the job, and then he was in it for a while, and then he ended up despising it, and he quit the job super epically, but at the same time just super dramatic. But he wrote on his whiteboard in giant letters Croatoan, and I was like, whoa, what does that mean? So Croatoan, it was a whole Croatoa, if I remember right. It was an island or something, but the entire civilization there just disappeared overnight. Everyone was just gone, and there was no evidence or anything of where they went. Whole thing. And I thought that was neat that he did that, because he was insinuating that the whole company was going to eventually dissipate because everyone hated being there except for the higher ups. And I had mad respect for him just because he did that. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I don't know. It was eccentric. Spongy, thank you. Yes, that was the word I was looking for. But yeah, that's what he did. No, he wasn't pervy. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Yeah, no. Eccentric. Sniggle, yes. All you who said eccentric, you get what I was trying to say. I kept saying E words, and I was like, I'm almost there. But yeah, Atlantis, though, took a while to disappear, and we kind of know what happened. But if you look up, I think it was called Croatoa. Yeah. they just disappeared, like, overnight. The entire place. It was like, what happened? No one still knows. Like, it was crazy. I had to look it up. I think Supernatural ended up changing it into an episode. Is that the same thing? Is that different than the Roanoke Island thing? Oh yeah, there you go. That's so weird! Spongy, you were looking at it already. That's so crazy. Yeah, Wobbles, that's the same thing, but it starts with a C. That's the same story, yep. Well, it makes sense, Paladin, especially for what you're into, you know? Do you guys understand that this is the level, at least, minimum, that we require from you? This isn't too much, right? For JourneyJune, this is okay, right? Seriously, if you want to do more than that, cool, but otherwise, we'd rather just have you do another day. Like, if this was day 1, this is day 2, by the end of it, you'll have 30. That's at least an outline. It's a guide to follow, you know? Hello, Calavera. Yeah, I like it. It almost sounds like it'd be a Junji Ito story or something. That just people just disappear. Maybe they all went into a crack into a mountain. I don't know. Rizzy, thank you for the follow. Aw, thanks, Wade. I saw you were here earlier. I think I said hi. But thank you for your compliment. Are you going to be partaking? Because really, it's not an illustration challenge. I'm saying this again. It's not an illustration challenge. It's a storytelling challenge. So at the very least, we want you to at least do pencil roughs so they're clear, you know what's going on. You kind of know what's going on. I could tighten this up a bit more, but this is the starting point. Okay, so if you do this, took me what, 10, 15 minutes, not even? Should not take you that long. This is fine. It's more than fine. Oh, that's nice, D-Pad. Was your nephew the guy that you came to ASUN with? Ooh, Spongy, thank you. Yeah, the illustration challenges take tons more time than this, and I feel like they have a higher rate of failure because people have such a high bar for them. And if this is your bar, hopefully you can go higher than this pretty easily, okay? I'm hoping so. Oh, it's okay, Wade. I get it, but at least you know. So Gabe and I were talking about the difference between knowing your time and giving a reason, than not knowing so much and giving an excuse. Okay, reasons are different than excuses so much. Because usually reasons are true, excuses are just like, I don't want to do it, but here's why I don't want to do it, but it's not really a reason. It's usually, an excuse isn't a reason, you know? So, if your real excuse is that you're lazy, then you're never going to get anything done, you know? We know Wade is crazy busy. He's probably about as busy as Gabe or I. Granted, we're going to do it anyway because we're running it, but Wade's exempt. He's VIP. It makes sense. Yeah, Wubbles, if that's how you work best, do it. There is no, is this okay? Because however you want to work, fine. The only real rule that we keep trying to hit home is that you don't use pre-existing characters and worlds. It's the only thing. Something completely new, crash test dummy scenario, this is just practice. Something new, because if you want to be a storyteller, you have to be able to create new content anyway. So this is trying to get you to get in the mood of making things and potentially killing them off or destroying them or having them win, whatever you want, right? But you have to keep making stuff. You can't reuse old things all the time, okay? You gotta make new stuff. Oh, cute. No, that's alright, Spongy. I'm glad you're excited about something. If you get Gabe and I around people in real life and we're all excited, it's kind of this ricochet of feelings, which I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's just, it's feelings. Yeah, Wobble's good. No, that's perfect then. Oh my god, Wade. Whatever you want to do, if you want to talk about it on your Twitch stream, the main link we want to give out right now is the prompt list, and that's this link. We do have all these other links too, which basically JourneyJune.com, but my fear with linking people to JourneyJune.com is because the prompt list isn't the first thing at the top. I don't know how to actually pin something on Tumblr. I don't think they have it. So anyway, actually I might just repost it again tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be smart.
Yeah. So
or even
anyway,
today.
Yeah. And then if you mind doing it on an Insta story, link our Journey Through June Instagram and the hashtag. If you can mention those two, because the IG is Journey Through June, and then the hashtag is JourneyJune. There were 6 posts on it when we started from girls running, but we totally hijacked it. I don't even care.
If anything, it like for anybody who wants to help with it in any way, even if you're not doing it, do a story of it.
Talk about it. Do a story.
Do a story. Do
Anything.
a tweet. I just put out a tweet. I'll actually link to it.
Guess what?
right
Something's better than nothing.
now. Yeah.
If you want other people in the journey with us, you want to build our team, let's go and just talk about it.
Yeah. If anybody wants to, I put out a tweet just now. Not now, but
Wubbles, I could do that, but the oldest isn't exactly the list either. That's why I made a bit.ly that goes straight to the list, but I am going to be updating the other social media with the prompts for that day, just so it's out there and I'm always posting every day still. But I needed a direct link to it because it's going to get buried no matter what I do, which sucks. It sucks. I'll figure it out though. I think I could add like a little thing on the right or something that says, you know, the prompt list. Actually, I know I can. I'll do it. No, I'll figure it out. I still got a day. That's something. But today's theme, since if you know you guys have been following the countdown, since today is actually day 0, there are no more days left until Journey June. 0 excuses, man. 0 excuses. If you want to do it, you'll do it. 0. You have no excuses. So I gotta make that and put that on the thing too. I almost feel like, do you think it'd be a good exercise for people who are afraid to dirty their sketchbooks to actually purposefully open it up and do stuff like this, like just like open a page and just dirty it right away and just
on purpose? Yeah.
on purpose. Like if you're afraid of perfection and screwing up your pages, open up a sketchbook page and literally just, I'm not even kidding,
With a marker even.
screw it up already so anything you do from this point on, it's a level up. You can't do worse than that now. The bar is set. You wasted a piece of paper in your sketchbook. Fuck it. Just draw. Who cares? If somebody opens to this page and they're like, what is this? Explain it to them. This is the bar of the sketchbook. Anything above this is a plus. How about that? You got perfection levels? Fuck them. Because you know what? I'm sick of seeing those YouTube videos that are like, well, and here's my sketchbook. And it's like perfect, 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 perfect. Maybe something's kind of wrong, only they would notice. Perfect, perfect. Fuck that. That's not a sketchbook. That's a portfolio that you just happen to pump out. Whatever. I'm over it. Thank you, Wade. You're a doll. Love you. Wobbles, what is that? Oh, No. No. I am with them. So, not only that, but this would probably drive you guys nuts. See this sketchbook? I actually took this from Gabe. Okay, so all the drawings in it, these are all Gabe's. You know what I did? I taped them all together at the top and the bottom, so when I open it, it's just a fresh sketchbook, but I think it would drive you guys nuts because all of this isn't mine. You know? But when you need paper, right? So Sniggle, I actually rip all the pages out of all my sketchbooks. Does that make you mad? 2 reasons. 1, I usually sell them or ship them to somebody because they're a commission. And 2, it makes it easier to scan them. And you can actually take them and put them into folders and stuff, actual physical folder systems. And actually, you'll have to if you end up making a book out of them. So, fuck your sketchbook. It's not permanent. Stop thinking it's got to be permanent. Oh, the Japanese ring. I see. Sorry, Sniggle. I jumped to conclusions. Yeah, so the only difference is, let's see. So I have this really goddamn nice paper that I haven't even opened this yet. This is for watercolors that I'm gonna sell at conventions and stuff. I'm actually gonna start one soon. I'm gonna take this apart. You see this? One of these nasty old $2 from Goodwill frames, right? Remember I showed you how to appropriate these? So I'm gonna take this and I'm actually gonna do like a castle scene on it, but I'm gonna do it with this really nice watercolor paper. But when I'm not using this watercolor paper, I'm using this shitty Walmart brand that's like, what? How much is this? $5?
Yeah, it's under 10 for sure.
Okay, so this is really bad watercolor paper. Like, really bad. But I did this stuff on it last night. You're just screwing around with some ink. This is just ink and a water brush. Literally just screwing around. Some stuff turned out bad. She's really off balance. She looks like she's gonna fall backwards, whatever. But I was just playing, right? So you have different books for different things, but don't think you can't screw up. You're gonna screw up. It's okay. We are part of a medium. Let me restart. We chose art, which is not a cheap thing. There are cheap things you can get in art, but overall, it's an expensive industry, I guess. But yeah. Okay, Spongy. Whoa. I used 3 of them. Hey man, you could use those as giveaways. Crane, if you want to grow followers and stuff quickly, though it's not by good means, but giveaways work. Unison, I don't know if I did either, honestly. I'll never know if I actually finished one because I've ripped stuff out. I know when I get to a point where I have too much dirty paper that wouldn't be good for a commission or something, or I can't sell it because it's got smudges on it, I repurpose that paper to be like, I do these things with my markers that are swatch sheets. So I'll do little things like this on paper I know is really screwed up, because then I can still use it and get use out of it. But there's a myth with finishing a sketchbook that's become such a like high tier thing that I think it's really detrimental and it's really bad for artists. Your sketchbook is for sketches. I know, newsflash, but you're not supposed to have perfect things in it. In fact, if you do, what are you doing? It's a sketchbook. Put that on a canvas or some shit. I don't know. Sketchbooks are supposed to be crazy. You know, they're supposed to be just whatever.
I feel like it's, you know, like when you see like movie stars and shit on TV and you're like, she's so beautiful. Try going over to that lady's house on a Saturday morning when she ain't got nothing to do and she's cleaning her like kitchen. No, she's gonna look like death just like slapped her in the face.
What does this have to do with sketchbooks?
That is your sketchbook. There's no makeup on your sketchbook.
Oh, you're saying it's unprepared and impulsive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. See how I can sum up Gabe?
Thank you.
That's why I'm here. I'm a translator, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be ugly as fuck. Absolutely. But you love it regardless, yeah? It goes with you to places. It's your spouse for the time being, you know? is Tarada? What is Tarada?
Oh, you know Tarada.
Tarada?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Who said it? 'Cause
Oh,
I don't know how to
Unison.
spell it.
You can start now, okay? It's never too late. Oh, Sniggle, I had a friend who used makeup as their medium. Like, artists do everything, man. They'll use beer, wine, makeup, ketchup, whatever. Like, definitely. Some people even like using eyeliner as an inking tool because the brush is really nice. I'll give you that.
I bought this book at Too Cool for like $20. They're usually like $100.
This isn't the Cannabis Works guy,
No,
is it?
yes, I think.
Is it the Cannabis guy?
I think it is.
Cannabis Works is awesome.
No, that's Tanaka.
Yeah, it's enough.
This is Tarada.
I've
It's
never seen this.
the
Oh,
book
look at this page. Fuck everything. Look at this page.
So the book is called Rakugaki King, I think.
This one's great. I feel like it should be a little fart poof on that one.
Oh, Rakuga King.
Oh, someone else mentioned that the other day. Was that
yeah.
you too, Crane?
Probably was. We've had other people mention this book, but what he explained is
Sorry.
what he explained is that like
Oh, no. You didn't warn me.
I forgot.
Don't ban me.
A lot of these drawings he's doing just like when he's on the phone. Like he would just grab paper and just do it on the phone.
Oh my god, I did that too, but mine weren't actual sketches.
Also, this book came out like in early 2K, so he probably couldn't have been on the internet or whatever. But a lot of these, I mean, they're fantastic sketches because he's a fucking master, right?
I like how pervy this
Yeah.
looks.
But I mean, you could see there's a lot of really dirty, unrefined things in there. Is that a fucking? Is that a? Oh, okay. It looked like from here. It looked like a.
It looked like a Bulbasaur.
Yeah, a Bulbasaur.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Yeah.
That's weird. Anyway.
But yeah, like
got some dirty stuff I didn't realize. Sorry.
Yeah, if you guys can find a copy of this, it's really inspirational because there's a lot of
care.
Yeah, there's a lot of dirty things in there, and he was like,
well, you don't have to draw dirty stuff. I don't think
no.
I've ever actually drawn a penis. I'll be honest, but I don't need to. You know, only draw what you want or need to do. You don't need to do anything. That's the nice thing about art. It's whatever. Somebody follows me right after I say that. Oh, Dan, you weren't following me? What? Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
There are. Wait.
What?
Did you look at this? Is sometimes like if when I see sketchbooks and I just see something like that in the sketchbook, I'm like, okay, you're cool.
That's the whole page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're cool. And there's usually a story behind these too. That's what I love about sketchbooks. But when it's like every single page is like a masterpiece, like okay. This is meant for something.
That doesn't impress me. I'll be honest. I would rather learn from you and see all your mistakes. And honestly, I think if you as an artist show people your mistakes, you're going to be better off as a person, as an artist, whatever, because you'll be humble. You know, you're humble if you're showing how you got to a point. If you're one of those people that just shows all your final pieces and people just think you're this god of an immaculate thing, that doesn't help anyone. You're just a showman then, you know? You're not actually teaching people or helping people. And I think artists that are really worthwhile are going to stay with you because you have a journey with them, you know? I know I'm overusing journey, it's on the mind, I know. But you have this rapport with them where they've humanized themselves, right? And everybody always seems to latch on to people that have been humanized. When you have somebody that's up on a pedestal like a god, that doesn't help you. In fact, that almost intimidates you to a point of paralyzation, right? You're paralyzed because you feel like you can't attain that and you're just in awe. That's cool, but it doesn't help, you know? I'd rather help people.
How many times have I been to a show and they're like, oh, I can't even talk to them because they're so amazing. And it's like, no, they're a normal fucking person.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god, we've had people come up to us that say they can't talk to another artist because that artist is too woo. It's like, well, you're talking to me right now.
No.
You may not think of me like them, but is it probably because I've humanized myself?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you guys see me in person at a con, few of you have, I'm the same damn thing as I am right now. Granted, that might be a little intimidating, But you know what to expect because we've already made it so you know kind of who we are, you know, and I think that's more important as an artist, you know. I don't know. Through a sketchbook, seeing this machine. I fucking love it. There you go, Sniggle. So you know. Everything I do is perfect. Calavera, I bet everything you do is perfect. I bet you poop these little castles that are just gorgeous. I'd run into a burning building to get it. That's a good way to put something. Honestly, I've thought about this before, and if anything was actually burning down in here, I would take this with me. This is my one thing. And I've told Gabe this. As far as I can tell, this is a nutcracker thing, but this is my favorite object I think I own. I don't care how pathetic that is, but this is like, it's so cool. Everything about it to me is very me, and I love that. And I wouldn't give that up, because yeah, I could maybe have someone make it, but it would never be this again. And that means something, damn it. I don't know. Anyway. No, didn't drop. I know it sounded like it, but didn't. Right, Crane? Yeah. Hey, Addison. Can't look at Gabe in his eyes. That's because he's got, like, I don't know.
I'll kill you.
Especially if he does this eyebrow up thing at you, you can't do it. You get paralyzed. He's too handsome. Yeah. Yes, Sniggle, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, right, Crane? It's got all these great things to it. And I'm sure it's machine made, but it's just so beautiful. I know I'm super, like, I sound dumb, but I love all the different intricacies in it, its purpose, how simple its purpose is. I like tools that have just one purpose. That must say something about me. I don't know what, though. But anyway. I also oh, you know what? This actually sums up what I think about art, actually. If you can make something that is this smooth, confident, everything that needs to be there is there, I think it's beautiful. So, like, that's why I was saying with, this doesn't have any detail or intricacy that, there's no ornateness here that's trying to make up for what it does. You know, there's no little engravings or anything. This is what it is, and I think it's beautiful for that reason. It's bold. Look at the shapes on it. It's all functional and it's got a purpose, right? It's not like it's ornate and Victorian or anything like this. This is so simple. This is also very much I'd say my art style, what I shoot for. Just an aesthetic of the wood, smooth wood, stuff like that. No, I haven't used it. I don't want to use it. I actually got it, I think, at either an antique store or a Goodwill. I don't know. I've tried to find them since. I haven't been able to. Oh, wood sculpture my grandpa did. What's this object? But what do you like about it, Snaggle? Real talk, Galvasaur, when I met you and you took time to talk to me, it meant a lot. I gained confidence in my work, and it's mushy shit, but whatever. Calavera.
Whatever. Jack, you're a good dude.
We like you, man. Man, this coffee hit today. Yeah. Alright. Should we talk about JourneyJune real quick? And if anybody has any questions about it, who's going to be on stream with us tomorrow doing day 1? Who? Let us know. We want to know now, so we can, like, know you'll be there tomorrow.
Who?
I know I didn't do anything much on this stream except talk, but sometimes talk is good. Here, I can show you guys my pens. So this is, I'll actually doodle more. Did you make a beep noise?
No.
What the hell? When I met Gabe, he spat at me and poured Coke all over my art.
Sounds about right.
Crane. I mean, now you've made it so if we do ever meet you, and there is a Coke around, you best be running. Is it, Unison? I'm sorry. It's at least a Friday, though, right? Do you have to get up on Saturday early? Oh, Sniggle, I love that. Yeah, Peach, please try to be here. We miss you. It is 4 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. So it's the same time this one started today, and it's going to be here again. So basically, everything today, tomorrow. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, Rizzy. So, JourneyJune, it's all these links, but mainly the one you need is this one. So, JourneyJune is similar to kind of to the art challenges that are monthly, like Mermaid, Inktober, all that kind of stuff. But this one has less of a focus on illustration and more on storytelling. So if you yourself have said you've got stories that you want to tell, or you have a bunch in your head and all that, but maybe you haven't gotten any of them down yet, this is perfect because JourneyJune is based on the hero's journey. So if you're not familiar with that, any like famous story ever that's been really good has basically been a hero's journey. Star Wars, Labyrinth, Willow, Tron, Neverending Story, all that shit. Hero's journey, okay? So what we did was we took the majority of the journey itself and then kind of input a couple other things to extrapolate it to be the 30 days. And ideally, you do all the days, okay? And when I say do all the days, I'll show you, this is about the caliber we're expecting is about, gotta find it again. Just don't think that you have to actually flesh it out 100%. We'd rather you didn't. But we do want it to at least be clear so we know what's going on. And it's okay if it's pencil. Because we know people are busy and blah, 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 blah. But if you're actually a storyteller and you want to get good at stories, do this challenge, because if you can prove by the end of it that you did all the days, and we'll give you a week buffer afterwards, we offer a free class on how to make a book, how to get it printed, how to self-publish. I should just start saying how to self-publish. You get a how to self-publish class, basically, that you earned because you did the story. The only rule we have is that you don't use pre-existing characters from other stories you might have, or worlds, anything like that. It has to be brand new. This is practice. Make a crash test dummy hero, okay? It doesn't have to be any size. We recommend going small, 6x9. This is a post-it note size. I used a post-it note as a template, okay? Because the most important thing is getting the story out by the end of the month. It doesn't have to do with illustration even, okay? It's just getting the story out, okay? You can always go back, you can always fix things, you can always polish it, whatever. But we just care about you getting the story down and finishing something, okay? So all the prompts are bit.ly/JJ prompts. And we'll also be updating the Instagram, the Tumblr, the Twitter, the Facebook page, all that stuff. Oh wow, Paladin, yeah. So hopefully that helps. If you need more information, let us know. It can be whatever medium you want, whatever you're comfortable with. Oh, Sniggle, I see it. Well, Unison, you can always go back and watch it and then do your JourneyJune when you watch it. How about that? So, Crane, we also suggest you don't use yourself as a character. Just because that can really taint how you look at the story. It can change a lot of things. And it's better you get used to making characters. If you're going to be a storyteller, you can't always use you. You shouldn't. You should make other characters. So, don't use yourself and don't use a pre-existing character. Yeah, you're basically making a 30-page story. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to even be pages, okay? You could do this in the way of a comic. If we suggest you start by making a hero, and a lot of people have gotten extra time so far because we thought of this 2 weeks ago and then we've been killing it trying to get the word out. But we make a hero before June starts, okay, just for this process, right? That way you kind of already have an idea of who they are and what they do, right? So make a hero and throw them into a couple situations. We were saying earlier, like, for this particular scene that was happening with my character Hazel here, someone came into her shop and broke all her pots. Well, how would she react? Would she be the type to get mad? Would she run outside screaming? Would she throw a tantrum? Would she be indifferent? Would she want to scientifically figure it out? Or would she be sad? Hazel's the type that is delicate, fragile, sad, wouldn't lift a finger sort. So I've got her acting that way. So it's important you kind of get a grip on your hero ahead of time. But ultimately, yeah, it's 30 pages, or if you need panels, it's whatever. You know, so in the case of Hazel here, she's very much a classic storybook, simple character, right? So for the most part, I'm going to shoot for storybook, you know. Maybe with a panel here or there if it needs supplemental action or an extra thing to kind of show and not tell sort of situation, because I usually shy away from any sort of dialogue or anything. But, and that's just how I work, okay? You might work totally differently. Keep in mind that's better to show and not tell, though. Only tell what you have to. But usually once you design your hero and you kind of figure it out, you'll be able to get a feel of what they'd be like, what they'd do, and what their story form would take, if it's a comic or a story or whatever. What about in here? There is who I want to be and not who I am. That could help, Crane. See, that's not who you are then, right? So it's just a different character. Can we use a character creation app and make a story around the first characters that pop up? If that's how you want to do it,
is that how you're going to live the rest of your life, though?
that's exactly what I was going to follow up with. If you want to be a storyteller, you're going to need to learn how to generate these people on your own, though. People or animals or whatever. You could take place in a grocery store or something, too. Remember, it doesn't need to be sci-fi or fantasy. It can be whatever you want. It could be urban, it could be cowboys, it could be pirates, whatever you want. We don't care. We just care that you do the story, okay? And not use old characters, and to use whatever you want. You know, just make sure it's clear so we can see it. And you don't even need to post it. You know, what art challenge will allow you to do this, right? It's not like those. At the end, though, if you do want the class, you will at least have to send us an email or a PDF or something to prove you did all 30 days, and then we'll let you in. Oh, good, Wobbles, good. But yeah, Shonda, I would say to start getting used to actually creating characters. If this is something you want to do in the future, granted, some of you are going to start this thinking you want to do stories, and some of you are going to end it knowing you don't, you know? Like, maybe storytelling isn't for you, what have you. It's, you know, totally just figuring it out. Because remember, what we say is, knowing what you don't want to do is kind of just important as knowing what you do. Because that'll point you further in the direction of where you want your art career to be, you know? Sorry, right now I'm doodling. Doodling's good for you. I got these new pens at the pen show we went to recently. So every once in a while I'll doodle some stuff, practice some curves. Doodling is healthy for you. It's good to practice line work, curves, lines. Gabe can draw the straightest line I've ever seen someone draw. Like, he can also cut the straightest line I've ever seen. See, I still have these wavering problems. So sometimes it's good to just screw around like this. It's fine. Good, Shonda. If you guys want further information, I've actually pinned a couple of our past Insta stories on Instagram on Journey Through June. If you want more pep talk stuff, more guidelines and rules that we've set, I made sure they're all there so you can look back at them if you want, because I end up repeating myself a lot. So what I did was I pinned a few of them so I could save my breath. So if anybody's interested in that, you can definitely go check that out. The Instagram will most likely be the main hub. So if you have to choose one of the bunch of the social medias, probably just focus on the Instagram one. So right now I'm just using a water brush to go over some of these ink lines that I've done. Gabe actually works pretty common like this. I thought I'd try it just because it's a different thing. I think I have to change some things though. Like I don't think I can use a water brush. I think I have to use just a brush and water, because the water brush actually lets go of almost too much water. So it gets really soupy really quickly. Any other questions you guys got? We're going to be cutting it soon because I got to go work on actual work and prepare for tomorrow. So remember that there's the kickoff stream tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. And we'd love to do our first day with you. We'll have a little launch party on Twitch. Let's work backwards. How does this go? Ooh. Don't forget to experiment. Everybody thinks that when you grow up and you're an artist that you're supposed to get all serious and stuff. You don't have to do that. Gabe prides himself on being silly and weird. I mean, how would you summarize yesterday's stream for everybody? You basically drew a bunch of weird characters that had no bearing on anything nor sense associated with them.
I think a lot of people forget that art is supposed to be fun.
Art is supposed to be fun.
And they look at too much of like, I mean, I guess if you want to be a gallery artist and talk about how like a sunflower is like the essence of God or some bullshit, okay, that's fine, you can do that. But if you ask me, I'm gonna be like, that's a painting of a fucking sunflower.
Yeah.
Well done, dude.
Unless you add some storytelling elements, because the storytelling challenge, if you don't do it because you're not a storyteller, okay, but hopefully if you do it, you'll understand more how to implement story in your illustrations. That's important, because illustrations should have a story, you know? Wobbles, on my stream, will be here tomorrow. Same time and place and whatever. Ah, Carl, you came on right when we were leaving. Crane, we're going basically right now. So we can do one numbered prompt a day. You can. Okay, so the thing we stress with this is for anybody who eventually wants to be an independent artist or freelancer, think of this challenge like one where you get the chance to actually schedule or reorganize your schedule. So if you honestly didn't want to do any of the prompts until June 29th, okay, you know, because you just have to prove it to us within the next week after June ends. But I highly recommend you don't do that. Usually people know a month ahead of time what days they're not going to be available in the next month, right? So hopefully right now you have some sort of idea what days you're not going to be able to do in June. So ideally you would do them ahead of time. Okay? And ideally ahead of time instead of later, because think about it like if all these things were different freelance projects and your deadline was later, you know, you can't do it after that. You have to do it before you leave, right? So you're technically buying yourself days by doing them on another day. We've also said to kind of think about it like your creativity is a fire. Some days it's really lit and it can go a long time. Other days it's really low and it's dwindling and maybe it's just embers, right? So we're saying on the days where you're lit and your fire is roaring, right? And your creativity is at its peak, and you finish one of the days, let's say, keep going. Keep feeding the fire, cooking on the fire, because you're going to have all that food that you're cooking on the fire, aka days you finished, over on the side, right? So for the days that you don't have a fire going, your creativity is super low and you don't want to do it, you've got a few days that you've bought yourself so you can eat, right? It's a decent analogy. I don't know. We thought of it. It was alright. But yeah, each prompt is for, each day is for a day in June. Ideally, you do them every day so you're at least on schedule. But, like we were saying, sometimes you'll be at a wedding or some crap. What I hate is the excuses we get for this. Well, I can't do any of the month because I've got a day I'm going to be at a wedding. I'm sorry? You're going to be gone one day? And you can't do the whole month because of one day? Like, we've gotten that. And it's like, reorganize your schedule. How much do you care about this? So this is for the people that want to do stories that haven't gotten to do their stories yet, so it's like a practice run, right? The hero you make is practice. They shouldn't be pre-existing. The entire thing is practice, right? Nightshade! Thank you! Happy June Eve. Oh, you're such a sweetie. Eating brownies 24/7. Understandable. So today's thing on Journey through June on the Instagram is going to be 0. It's day 0, so it's 0 excuses. We don't want to hear, oh, I can't do it because of this, that, or the other thing. Either you do it because you need to do it, or you don't do it and we don't care. We're not doing this for us, though we are participating for ourselves, but because we want books. We want to make more books. We want to make more stories. We want those of you who have stories to be able to know what it's like to finish a story and to know how to make a book, to be able to do all the other stories you say you have. Because some people talk the talk and they're like, I have so many stories, blah, 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 but I have nothing to show for it. We want you to walk the walk. We're going to teach you how to walk, okay, so that you can show people your stories. Because not enough people do that. They don't help other people with stories, because story is very hard to teach. But we figure if we can at least take you through the hero's journey, which is the basic, most trite formula. It's great though, but it's, like I said, it's trite and it's old, and everyone knows it. Like, I guarantee you, you have read a hero's journey story at least once or twice in your life, whether you knew it or not. But we want you to get used to it, because if you really, really want to be a storyteller, you have to make stories. I know that's crazy, but you gotta. Alright, I can't do that until that. It's true! Nightshade, you're almost the boss again. You almost kicked Bodhi. Which Bodhi's gonna be doing it too. I can't wait to see his stuff. So many of you guys that are on board for this. I'm so excited to see what you can do. I'm even excited to see what Gabe does. I live with the guy. Like, whatever. So, we are going to be stopping for today, but tomorrow we are going to be on this channel again. Sorry, I've got ink all over me. I'm trying to clean it. We'll be here tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central, Cloverkin stream. I'll put up a thing about it tonight and tomorrow. And, we'll see you back here. Hopefully you'll be doing your first day with us. We'd love that. Right? I love Bodhi's style too. I'm so excited. Oh my god. Him and Fire Seal. So many good ones, man. That sounds great, Shonda. We look forward to it. Treat yourself good. You're welcome. So Gabe streams Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. But tomorrow is a special occasion, obviously, so we're going to stream an extra day. So, meet here tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central, and we'll draw together. We'll have an art jam. Goodbye forever, Crane. Forever and ever. Paladin, message me right after the stream, okay? Alright, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. CST, sharp, okay? And we'll art jam. See you tomorrow. Bye!